Hey guys, I got an extended episode for you today. Something encompassing a full day on the water, including the good, the bad, and the ugly too. So grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Alright, well, we got a little break today. We have sold our dinghy. So Carlos is here from its new owner to retrieve the dinghy, so we're going to put it back in the water. Alright, coming down. Alright, got it? Well, it served us very well. We got to thank Highfield for that, because yeah, we got 2 years out of this dinghy with perfect results, and we move it on to its next owner. It has no holes, no patches, no leaks, no damage, nothing. Ciao, Carlos.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Oh, Carlos. What about the motor?
Now?
Did you want the motor now, or did you want to wait for our shelter bay?
For now you need to work on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to you on message.
Yes.
Gracias, Carlos.
Ciao.
All right. And so begins the new adventure with the new dinghy. So now we get back to rebuilding that one. Hopefully our engines have arrived in Panama. Hopefully we get them in the next few days. They're still on the cargo ship, I guess. Supposed to come off the ship today, maybe tomorrow. And we'll have them within the next 4 or 5 days, we hope, and we can start installing the new electric system. So looking forward to that. Meantime, we'll get back to work putting the bimini on, which we still have to do those mounts. So that's next. Hello. So today we are going to start working on our dinghy conversion, because we have several stages of upgrades to do to the new dinghy, including of course culminating with the conversion to full electric. So we got a couple things going on at the same time. We got Stanley and his guys here bringing back the generator from its repairs, making a new mount and a couple other modifications. And they are also here as part of our dinghy upgrade, because you'll see here I've been working on making it so that we can support the dinghy from the bar at different heights, just testing different levels of height. The reason is, when we're at anchor, I'm trying to make it so that we can leave the bimini up, because when we have the bimini conversion complete on the dinghy, it's going to have 2 solar panels on it. So we don't have to take those off every night when we're at anchor, when we're going to use them again the next day anyway. So I'm just trying to find a way that we can set this up where it will actually contain the dinghy with the bimini and be able to just hoist it up out of the water, even to this level. It doesn't have to be way up here, but just to here, so it's out of the water for the night. But then when we're going to transit somewhere, we're obviously going to take the bimini down and reduce the height, so it's going to come right up to its normal full height. So what Stanley's going to be doing today also is putting some new cleats here. We're going to get a couple of cleats welded onto the bar that I'll be able to use for adjustable lines. And the reason is, you can see we got the same kind of cleat right here, and that's for the dinghy engine hoist right there, just for tying it off. But we're going to put a couple of those cleats on here with a couple of pulley systems over here, so that we can actually adjust the dinghy up and down while it's in the hoist. And that way, if sea conditions, or we're sailing on one heel over the other and it's at a bad angle for rain or wind or anything like that, we can trim it on the fly. Also, we've had a couple of times when it's been very hard to deploy the dinghy because of waves in the anchorage, and the dinghy goes down and comes up and bangs on the bar. That's either going to damage the bar or the dinghy, one of the two, but we don't want to damage either. So by having these lines here through a shiv on those mounts, we'll be able to just release it from here even when the bar is up this high, and drop it down into the water, and the dinghy will be safe floating on its own without risking bouncing into the bar. So that is what's going to start today. in addition with mounting the bimini. We have the new mounts to put on the dinghy, so I need to look at mounting those today, putting them in the proper position and getting the bimini on so that we can start looking at how the solar panels are going to configure on there as well. I've got a good idea all up here. I've been working this out for months, but of course when you put actually everything to the test, that's when subtle things are going to change, and I'm sure it's not going to end up exactly the way I've planned, but that's what we're going to find out. So that starts today. And here comes the guys with the welding gear. And you can see there's the new mounts for the generator. So we've had our exhaust tube extended for my silicone hose. We've had handles put on it so it can lift in and out easily. The wood has all been epoxied and painted so that it won't, it'll resist water better. And this piece has been mounted. So we are in business. Now all I got to do is I can just bolt this panel down separately, hook up our fuel line, hook up a battery, and we're good to go. And with any luck, that's going to give us a 5.5 kilowatt generator mounted in our locker that should be able to put out easily 4 kilowatts continuous, which will run the dual battery chargers that you've seen we've installed also. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape for dramatically decreasing our engine runtime, like our generator runtime for recharging the batteries on days when we don't have a lot of sun, like well, not today, but like we've had typically. So our next thing is to figure out where to put our mounts. As you can see, Highfield was kind enough to send me a couple of these mounts that are the same exact mounts as what you see right there for the paddles, the oars. So they got the oar locks on them, the pivots, everything, and they're meant to be glued onto the Hypalon surface wherever you want them. So we're going to be putting one somewhere around these two handles here, but first we need to take the actual bimini and just line up the poles and make sure it's going to fit where I want it to. This is the bimini here. So we got all the bars, that's our risers, that's across the top. This is our hardware box, all the hookups and everything. And of course, our canvas. So with all that ready, all we need to do is take some of our risers and just take them to the boat along with one of the mounts. And position them and see where they're going to fit best. Now, let's see. Throw that into the boat. And use this to hook the boat. Alright. Okay. So we'll flip this down a little bit. And this is going to extend to the back like that when it's folded. So you can see, we just want it to come right basically to the back of the engine. And right now our pivot point is here, so we want to come a little bit further back. And yeah, it looks like the perfect place is going to be right here, so just off to the side, because yeah, with that right in the middle of those two handles, you can see it extends just to the back of the engine there, almost perfect. So that'll be the perfect place to collapse it. So we're going to take this mount and put it right around here somewhere, just inside the paddle, and pretty much just like that one is right there. You can see how this one is just overlapped on the two colors of gray, so we're going to do the exact same thing right here. And that way it'll look like it's meant to be there. So the first thing we need to consider with this guy is, of course, that we need to connect this pole onto this mount. So we're going to need something that we can actually mount the two together. So you can see on the end of this, just like every other bimini, it has one of these pin mounts there. So we need something that's going to integrate with that. So luckily in my onboard hardware toolbox, I've got two of these guys, which is something left over from when I built all of this, when I built all the supports for the solar panels on the bimini. So this is the same thing, exactly what we need, and it should fit right in this gap just perfectly. So we just need to remove this piece. You can see these come off, they're separate, and the inside pin is a little bit smaller than this, but that won't matter because it's basically just a support for the bimini. So not a lot of real tension or pressure or anything like that. This will sit right on there, and our bimini, we just take this top screw out and we'll be able to put the mount right in there. Perfect. I love it when stuff comes together. tree that drifted past us earlier, catching a free ride back out of the marina.
So, ulit pa nga masaw.
But yeah, if you guys want to try and leave today, I think the only way we're going to get it is if we start early. So we still need to fill up water tanks. We got a lot of fenders to stow, lines to stow, power line to stow. We got to make sure the air conditioning is secure. If we're just going to make short visits, it can probably stay here. I've got it tied off and secured.
Yeah, it's a short travel.
But yeah, we'd want to leave here by shortly after lunchtime.
Yeah, okay.
And we'd go to Portobello. So it's about 2 hours from here. So we'd be at anchor in Portobello within about 2 hours of departing here. We can spend one night, and if the engines are supposed to show up tomorrow or Friday, no, that's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tomorrow, Friday.
Right. So we would spend tonight, and then if we need to get back to Shelter Bay, we'd leave early in the morning.
Okay.
If we can't get the engines before the weekend or Saturday or anything like that, then we'll just stay in Shelter Bay, I think, for a couple of nights, and then Sunday we'll go back to Shelter Bay and get ready for Monday morning to go get the
Okay,
engines.
perfect.
So if Jose and Magnolia want to come with us, then I think it's best if they sail with us.
And you come back with a taxi.
Yeah, I think that Jose and I can just take a taxi, come back, and pick up the motorcycle and the rental car.
Yeah, okay.
We bring those to Portobello, and then when we sail to Shelter Bay, we either do it one at a time and bring each other back, or we just do the same thing, get a taxi.
Okay.
One way.
Perfect. time.
There you have it. We are officially underway. We are on autopilot.
Yeah, we have Ipanema with us.
That's what it looks like as we clear Linton Bay. And you can see our friends on Ipanema are right behind us. Bringing up the rear. So that's cool, and we are on track. We got good depth under us, 48 feet. And we're doing 5 knots at just over average RPM. So again, we're not going to try and push it. We're just going to try and get there. So we're monitoring our our engine temperature, which is still good. She's running nice and cool as we just started it, and we're not trying to push too hard. I expect we'll probably be there in about 2 hours. So it's about 8 to 10 miles by the time we round the point and come back into the bay. So it'll be a couple hours at 5 knots.
Without wind and the same today.
Yeah, there's no wind. Yeah, if you look at our gauge, you see we have exactly 8.7 knots straight on the nose. And we're going to turn more to port side, so it's going to be even more upwind. We're doing 5 knots, so we have literally about 2.5 knots of real wind. So that's it. But for now, we just spent a little bit of time in Linton Bay Marina getting our projects done. New crew is on board. We're underway. And it is a beautiful day, which is something we don't get very often here, so we're very happy for that. Aren't we, ladies?
Very happy.
Sunshine!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just letting you know we had to shut down the engine. It was over 200 already, so today's not a happy engine day.
Roger. Mine is actually a little bit over 200 too, and that's what it usually runs on.
Yeah, mine should be 165, 170, maybe 175 tops, but as soon as it goes over 175, 180, I know it's got an issue, so I just shut it down because it was encroaching over 200 fast, and I'm just going to give it a few minutes to cool down. So we're just going to bob around here and enjoy a little sunshine, let it cool down. I'll open it up, check the fluids, and maybe burp the air system. Sometimes I've noticed I get an air bubble or something. I mean, we just spent like 3 weeks in the marina, so sometimes you get some growth in the water intake or something on the seawater system. Not sure, but I'm just going to let it cool down before I go check.
Roger, we're just going to hang around and wait and make sure things are good.
Okay, no worries. Thanks. We'll keep you informed. We'll be back to you shortly. Standing by.
Yeah, we're going to be hanging around here.
Yeah, for sure. Be back to you soon. Alright, we're still hanging it around 200, which is too hot to remove the radiator cap. If I remove the radiator cap at 200, there's pressure and it will just start overflowing, and I don't enjoy that, so we'll wait. But in the meantime, I'm going to check the seawater current and just make sure there's nothing stuck in the strainer, and we'll go from there. You can smell the coolant. It means that there's pressure in the system and it's overflowing. Oh, Maddie?
Yeah?
Can you put the autopilot on manual, please? It's freaking out because we're not motoring. Let's see. We've got water flow coming in for sure. So no problem with water getting into the motor. See if anything looks like it's leaking at the back. Still see a bit of, we've got our normal dose of transmission fluid in the bottom. Nothing more major. Okay, everything is good here. No leaks. Nope, it's dry. So it's just a circulation issue somewhere. So either not enough seawater coming in, or it's still plugged in the heat exchanger itself. One of the two. But we've been sitting for a while, and the heat exchanger, well, yeah. It's hard to say because the heat exchanger is half full of salt water and we're sitting in a marina. So of course the last water it sits with for 3 months, or for 3 weeks while we're in there, is just water from inside the marina. And that's probably not helping the situation. But we are going to have to find, I believe that Jose said he's got some of that barnacle buster, so we may have to try that through the cooling system and just see if that frees up the actual heat exchanger a little bit. Because that could be our immediate issue, because once it gets cleaned out and actually running, it will keep running as long as we don't push it. But sometimes it just keeps overheating because there's some kind of a blockage somewhere, or an air bubble. I don't know what it is, but it's very random, and that's why we have to keep watching for it. So all we can do is wait and see.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Hot. Yeah, you can still smell there's coolant, a little bit of pressurized coming out of the system.
So last time
Well, let's see if we get any better circulation now. She's coming down, it's a 190. Jose, make sure we're not cutting them off or anything. 185.
good.
185, so it's coming down a little bit. $180. I don't know. This is good news.
Yeah, but
Well, we hope. It's fingers crossed. But yeah, sometimes it's just like an air bubble or something. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it overheats, and I just have to stop it and let it cool down for a bit, bleed the system, just burp the seawater intake strainer,
yeah.
and turn it back on again when it cools down a bit. 170.
Great. We
It's
restart.
at 170, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well, let's see where we end up. We'll get it at its proper speed, because obviously the faster it spins, the better cooling it has. We get it up to our cruising RPM around 5 knots, and that's right where we are now, 5.2.
Drop down another time, you think so?
Yeah, it's at 170. So it's at 170 and holding.
It's a bubble of air inside.
Let's just keep trying. But yeah, I am still holding at 170 exactly. And we are still doing 5.4 knots currently. So I'm just going to proceed as we are and monitor it, but I'll let you know if any change, if we need to stop again. Okay, you made the #1 mistake of the YouTube world.
Oh yeah?
You blocked the girl.
Out of the way.
Just kidding. Nice up here, huh?
Awesome.
Wow.
I'm loving this view over here.
You guys are so lucky. I mean, you show up and the sun is shining. You know what we've been living with? Like this shitty rainy weather for weeks and weeks. I think we're just far enough off these hills over here. You can see it's still raining, like gonna rain over there. Over here's nice. Big difference. See how it just forms this big wall as you get close to the hills. All around. But here, we have sun today. Just no wind. But not a bad trade-off.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, we'd certainly rather be out here in the sun than the rain.
Yes.
Even with no wind. Thunder.
Yes.
There's rain right ahead of us, look.
Where we go? In Portobello.
Yeah, yeah, we should only be a couple of minutes here. I'm just gonna let it cool down, like I said, but hopefully I'll burp it again and we'll resume our way. But it was starting to climb again, so I just gave it a few fast revs and thinking, you know, maybe I'll flush the system through with some rapid acceleration and maybe flush through a little carbon also, because it's been sitting for a while. So I did get a little bit of black smoke out the back at full throttle. I did that a few times and then just shut it down once it reached normal RPM again. So I'm gonna go down in a minute here and just burp the system, and then we'll try it again momentarily. Yeah, it's still got water here, so there's air in it. Okay. She's at 190. So starting temperature 190. Today is not a happy engine day. It's gonna be a long trip to Portobello. Yeah, still climbing. Okay, so we wait. Oh, we got sunshine. Let's have another beer. This time it's down like 1.5 gallons of coolant, just gone, vanished. Last time it was full, we checked it, no problem. Now I just had to replace a whole pile of coolant, top it up again, so we got to go check the temperature, but it was coming down immediately as soon as I filled it up again. Like I said, very random, very random. 150.
Wow. Because you put the sun.
150. Just like that.
Because you put the cooler inside.
Well, I had to refill the coolant again.
Yeah, because oils go down.
It went down, but last time it was full. We checked it, it was full. There was no issue with the coolant. This time, it's down like 1.5 gallons.
Amazing.
I top it up and it immediately drops to 150.
For lucky we bought a lot of bottles.
Well, yeah, but I don't use that when we have a leak. I just fill it with tap water. So, you know, regular tap water is like 300 parts per million or less, but so I'm not going to pour coolant in knowing it's just going to run out into the bottom of the engine pan. That's crazy.
For lucky we are almost in
But,
Portugal.
yeah, we're getting there. We're about halfway, so let's give it a test again and now see what happens. $145.
Amazing.
It's random, completely random. Ipanema, sophisticated lady. You're gonna get off the phone, please.
And always we have bad cloud.
We're only doing 2.1 knots, but we're happy about it.
Yeah, only the sound of the sea is amazing.
2.6. Wow, we're taking off. Oh no, 2.1. 2.2.
2.3.
Oh, 1.8. Never mind. Okay, scratch that. We're not happy anymore. Yeah, we are. Just happy to be sailing. It's nice.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, we just gotta watch that we don't hit this island now too.
Pricey
We
this
still-
island, really. This time was.
It's somewhere in here. That I...
Yeah, that's the little island right there.
They have a nice beach being.
And Ipanema, just off our port bow.
Somebody have just the feet in the water, I think so.
little spa break.
Hey, you know what they call a man who falls overboard at sea, right?
No.
Lost at sea.
They call them me.
No, you're not
So
allowed.
make sure you have one hand on the boat. One hand for the boat, one hand for you. That way in case we hit a bump or anything, you're secure. Pretty sure Megan doesn't want to lose her husband on the first trip.
No.
On the first trip?
With
Well,
us.
yeah.
First time with us.
Oh look, he got nervous. Like, okay, I'm coming in.
He knew I would get mad at him if he left. How was that?
Nice.
That was nice.
It brings me back to my childhood sailing house.
Nice.
Whenever it was under 3 knots, my dad would like put out the rope behind the boat.
Oh, that's right. You
2.5 knots.
Drag swim.
We can drag you behind the boat if you want. You know what they call a sailor you drag behind the boat?
Drag?
Bait. Wow, look at that little beach right behind you guys. See that?
Yeah, this is we will go by.
We still haven't been there, but it looks nice.
We will go with the dinghy, so.
Very secluded.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
We've seen some of the local pangas bring people out there, tourists maybe, I don't know, but it looks like someplace we need to stop one of these days.
If you don't rain.
If it don't rain, yeah. Shh. We don't do rain anymore. Well, over there they do rain.
Well, maybe
Look at all that rain right there. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very black. For
That hill's
lucky-
in the clouds.
Yeah, but for lucky, just in direction to Cologne.
Yeah. It was raining here in Panama, or sorry, in Portobello a little while ago, but luckily it's mostly cleared. Good, good. Alright. Time to test the anchor. We are here. Okay. Ah, perfect. That's a big damn anchor. Got everything working good, so we're all set. So I'll give this to Madalena. Go back to the wheel.
I explained to you something, guys. When for switch on, switch off, you need to push the button before and wait. Then this light coming red. You see now it's red. Yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is for go up the anchor. This is for go down the anchor. And now a lot of selling was gone. So last time was a more selling was here. This is the river, the entrance of the river with the mangler, and if you straight on with the dinghy or kayak, you are having a beautiful beach. Very nice, yes. This is one the first port when you enter in Portobello. You saw, I think so, by bus.
Yeah. We
Nice.
came right
Yeah.
there, drove past this whole thing.
Capitan? Okay. Be careful, Alex. Okay.
Outside. The ropes. Yeah, there you go.
Now we make a reverse to check if we anchor well. I like a lot anchor. I don't like the dock. And it's more natural. You are in the middle of the nature all the time. It's different. Now, yeah, he made the reverse.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, he make the reverse for tie. Perfect, Capitan.
Now that, my friends, that is why we come to live at anchor. You seriously can't imagine how nice it is when you finally leave the marina and get back to anchor. Life really starts at anchor, I gotta say. Some of you will get that, some of you not. And we like the marinas, you know, everything is balanced. You okay?
Okay.
Everything's about balance, but there's just something when you leave the marinas, that is where life begins. And there it is right there. Beautiful sunset. One of the nicest nights we've had in a long time. And it's 5 something, I don't know. Listen, it's just perfect. It's beautiful. And wow, I didn't even notice, look, it's almost a full moon.
Yeah, almost.
Wow.
It's true.
Cheers, what a night.
Hey.
You concur?
Yeah, I'm agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it
beautiful
was a
night.
beautiful. After the clouds of today, so this sun, see this sunset now.
I know, we're so lucky we arrived in Portobello when we did. The clouds and the rain were all gone.
Yeah, it was a very nice night. The color are very bright. It's very neated, clear.
Yeah, look at that. Almost a full moon right there. It's coming.
Yeah, it's nice picture.
Yeah, it's not quite full yet, but I'd say another couple of days. It's close.
Hey, Thomas!
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
some friend incoming. Wait.
Thomas?
Yeah.
That's a lot of monkeys.
Say goodbye to the day.
Yeah, what a beautiful end of the day. Wow.
Yeah. I'm so happy about.
It was a very nice day. Ciao.
Yeah, I'm very relaxed. I am tired and really I'm very relaxing now. This atmosphere, this temperature, the birds, then fly at home.
Yeah, there's another one. What are those? The white ones. He's just flying on his own.
Yeah.
What is it?
These irons, I think so.
Oh.
They go, oh, they go in the tree.
So cool seeing them just fly along on their own. Oh, I think he just took a dump. Caught on candid camera.
Almost near mom.
Two of them coming right at us. Where are they? There they are.
Wow, they are beautiful.
Well, that one took a dump too. This is a twofer. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just be walking down the street and just take a dump? And nobody notices. Nobody cares. And Tiki left.
Yeah.
The guy's coming back to the boat for the night.
They are relaxed too. They are Colombian from Cartagena. You see the boat?
It's sunset time.
They are Colombian guys.
Yep, you see the flag right there. Colombia.
Capitan Junior move a lot. They only then move.
Is he kicking you again?
Yeah, today a lot. Yeah.
And tell him to calm down. We'll have a word.
He's here. He's growing. He too. Yes. He
Coming to kick our asses.
Yeah. He started to kick me when I switch on the music. I do.
He likes the music?
I think so.
Who doesn't like
It's
the
light
music?
music. It's no heavy metal or brave party night or something like this. It's very chill.
Oh no, if you played that for me, I'd kick you too. He can listen to whatever he wants when he's grown up in his own life, but not on my boat. That stuff doesn't fly.
The capital of
I like
all the salsa.
happy music. Yeah. Happy music.
Salsa, calypso.
Yeah. Gotta have a happy vibe, or don't come here.
Correct.
Yep, you guessed it. It's raining. Hey, Tiki. Even Tiki's doing the rain dance. She likes to have a shower. She starts dancing around in her water dish. Oh boy. Never stops sometimes. It was sunny for a couple hours this morning, so I guess that's about all we get. We got our buddy Mayo here. He's been helping cleaning the sides of the boat and maybe do the underside. Yeah, you ready? It's time to go on our dinghy ride.
Oh, look, better than this. I don't need to wet my clothes and not.
Oh, you're already wet, so it don't matter now.
Yeah, for this.
I told
Nice.
Mayo you better get out of the water, you get wet.
Yeah. I think so. Our lunch.
Oh, well, the video's finished, so it's just finished uploading now.
Great. Nice fun.
Now,
Oh.
we wait.